Your Google business profile is not sexy or flashy, and it's definitely not going to 10x your business overnight. But it's sitting there ranking when someone Googles your name, your company, or Realtor near me. And if it's unoptimized, incomplete, or messy, you're leaking deals that you already earned. My name is Levi Jones. I'm the founder and head coach at Guerrilla Realty, and we want to help you optimize your digital infrastructure, like having a CRM, a website, or even a phone number that works. You build your business on it, but if it's broken, you leak credibility and inbound opportunity. So I'm going to show you here how to unbreak your neglected Google business profile. By the way, we did a private 1-hour live training on building a Google business profile from scratch. We include the full step-by-step scripts, every tool you need to execute it on your own for free. To get it, just like this video, share it with another agent, and then comment shared below, and I'll send you a private link to the full resource. Let's get into it. First, let's fix the visuals. The photos you upload to your account decide how a real estate customer subconsciously categorizes you, as average or as an authority. Instead of random listing photos and a candid picture of your team at the Christmas party, let's be strategic instead. All right, we've all seen the average real estate Google business profile. It looks something like this, and the name and faces are blurred to protect the innocent here. So my intention is not to call anybody out because this is what most agents communicate with their Google business profile. They communicate average. Put a bunch of listings on there. It's not clear who's the authority, what even you offer, etc. And so the very first thing that we're going to do to fix our photos is we're going to clear them out. We're going to completely delete every photo in that profile. And then we're going to upload 2 images. The first image is something we call a trust builder image. Okay, this is going to borrow from the trust and the authority of other brands, other people, in order to build our credibility. Okay, so of course, this is going to be your company logo, but it's also going to be some other subtle indications here as well. If you're like, I don't know how to create a photo that looks like that, guess what? We have a tool that I'll show you a little bit later on in this video on how you can create this for you and your company. Okay. So first things first, when you look at this photo, and this is an example of the KW photo. Okay. First things you have is social proofing. Again, marketers much smarter than me have done studies about why this works, but effectively it is borrowing from the trust of other people. It's why the first thing when you go to make an Amazon purchase, you don't know that Chinese company's name of the product that you're about to buy. You don't know anything about them, but you read some reviews and you go, these seem okay. Now I can purchase this product. Same idea. They don't know you. They don't know if you're an authority about real estate in the area, but if they can see what other people are saying about you, great. So social proofing, we also have authority proofing. Again, this is borrowing from the trust and authority built from other brands that do lots of real estate. Realtor.com, or excuse me, National Association of Realtors, not Realtor.com, the MLS, Fair Housing, etc. And then finally, you have your company logo. If you're with one of the big box brokerages, more than likely, they've spent a lot of time and effort and probably money investing in building the trust and authority of their brand in the industry as well. So that's photo number 1. Photo number 2 is your headshot. Don't judge. I get it. I got a face made for radio. That's why I'm on video here. But as long as you follow a few simple rules, you're going to be in good shape. It doesn't have to be fancy, but few simple rules. First, you want to be professional. Okay. Again, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be in a suit and tie, something, nice shirt, and, clean cut, etc. But professional. What you don't want to have here is, as an example, there's a guy here in town who has dove wings superimposed on his headshot. His last name is Dove. I think it's a little bit hokey. It's definitely not professional, in my opinion. But the second thing is you want to be clear. Okay. And so no low res images, no 80s glamour shot, none of that stuff. Just clear. Any modern smartphone will take a nice, clear, high res image for you. The second is, or excuse me, the third is you want to have a neutral background. So something like this, just a plain background. It could also be in front of a natural, like a bush, something like that. You don't want a lot of distracting stuff behind your head. And then you want it to be a tight crop. You don't want full body shot. You don't want waist up. Something just below your collarbone up to your head. Nice tight crop. And then finally, no distracting brand overlays. You already have your brand stuff on that trust builder image. The rest of it can just be a clear headshot. Now, this will be also important for later. If you've done this, you've fixed your photos. So we fixed the visuals. Now let's work on the information stack. Now, most agents put in their office number here and link to their homepage, but that's a big mistake. Google business traffic is high intent, and you don't send high intent traffic to a generic homepage or a brokerage splash page, and you definitely don't have them try to call a phone that you probably aren't answering. You need to send them to a conversion page and phone capture. All right, it's time to fix your information stack, your contact links, etc. In order to do that, we're going to use a free tool that, by the way, you can access at nerdsheets.com. It's called the Google Profile Optimizer tool. Not only does it have the various stuff we're going to talk about in this section, it also is the place where you're going to go and be able to download trust building images, social proof images for your particular company, or a blank template where you can insert your own logo, etc. So I mentioned before how to do that. This is where you get it. Free tool, nerdsheets.com. So let's get into it. We're going to start with very simplifying our business name. This is not the place to put in your brand, super specific brand information, your brand motto, the little intent statement, anything like that. Very simple. Name, comma, company name. We want it to be very searchable for the things that people might actually search us for. Okay. Name, comma, company name. Okay. Very simple. By the way, this is actually required by Google as well. They're going to insist that when you verify your company that you keep it simple like this. So not only is this good for search engine optimization, this is actually what Google's going to require when you verify your page here. Then, and this is the really important key piece here, is the website link. So the website link is not a generic. You don't want to make it a generic homepage for your website. You don't want to send them to a brokerage splash page where it's unclear of what they're doing. You want to not only borrow some social proofing, but we also want to have very clear calls to action and how to get that information that they're interested in. So you'll notice that there's really two main links, and then the third link allows them to call me. But the two main links here that they're typically going to access are search all area properties here, in other words, buyers, or if they're a seller, what's my home worth? That's it. We simplify it. We actually make the colors, everything look like it's native to Google. And so when people click here, they are captured at a very high rate. Now, your Google business profile for most agents is not going to generate very much traffic to the website link. So when you do generate that traffic, you want to be able to capture it. It is absolutely essential that you have a minimum capture rate of 10%. Now, you may have never heard of capture rate. You may have never thought about it before, but this is absolutely critical. If you ever want to generate anything from your Google business profile, you have to have a website that captures well. The page you're looking at here is from our Pipeline Pro Tools package. Again, you don't have to purchase that. We've given you, doesn't capture as well. So for example, this page that you're looking at captures between 35 and 40%. The page that we've given you, the template, and this is for a lot of different reasons, not because it's necessarily designed a lot differently, but back-end stuff, just because the way that we host this, it captures around 10% from the Google Profile Optimizer. We've given you a template that you're welcome to download and use. Again, what you do not want to do is just send them to a generic page where there's not clear calls, where you're not going to capture that lead information. Now, here's the final piece of the puzzle, and that is we use something called a phone router. So when you put in your phone number here, typically you don't want to put in your cell phone. Inevitably, you're going to generate a handful of phone calls, maybe over the month, over the year. It's not a lot. And so when you generate those phone calls, it's essential that you connect with those people, okay? And that you know, hey, this person's coming in from my Google profile. This is a high intent customer. I need to drop everything and answer, okay? So what our phone router tool does is it automatically connects to my cell phone, but if I go to bed early, which by the way I do, I wake up early, I go to bed, I'm asleep by 9:30. If I get a call at 9:45, I'm not answering. And so the phone router tool is going to capture the lead. It's going to send them to my cell phone. But guess what? When I wake up in the morning, I now have that lead. I can immediately call them back. If I'm in the middle of talking with a buyer, again, this is whether or not they ever leave a message, they text me, anything like that. I'm going to capture that lead when they interact with that phone number. Very, very important. Now, if you've fixed the contact, the information stack, now you're well on your way to having an optimized Google profile. Finally, let's take a look at the bio. Now, Google doesn't rank personality. It ranks for clarity, relevance, and signals. Your job with your bio and the services you offer is to remove the ambiguity. All right, lastly, the bio. The mistake I see a lot of agents make here is that they get really emotive here. They talk about their passion for real estate, why they got into the business. I'll be very frank with you. Your consumers don't care. They want to know how you can help them. So we're going to be very short, simple. We're going to follow a couple rules here. The goal here is that we want to communicate as an authority. We also want to make it very searchable. It needs to have our city, state, or the area that we work in, as well as our name, company name, etc. So a few simple rules. Number one, we want it to be clear. So if you need to run it through ChatGPT because your writing isn't stellar, do that. But be clear. You can also just borrow our bio. Exactly. Again, it's in the Google Profile Optimizer tool. But even if you don't use our bio, you want it to be clear. You want it to be keyword rich. We want it to say real estate, realtor. We want it to have our city and state in it. Okay, those are things that people might search for. And so that is content that Google would potentially connect as relevant to what people are searching for. And then we want to communicate authority. Again, they don't care how passionate you are in, to serve customers, how much you love your customers, anything like that. They want to know if you can help them. That's it. You probably haven't touched your Google profile in years. And if you have, it's probably because you spent hundreds of dollars for some expert to optimize it for you. Also, it could be less effective at generating you business than the one we just gave you for free. And it only takes a few minutes to set it and forget it. Remember, we did a full hour-long training on the entire process I went over here briefly, as well as how to level it up further. We share full case studies as well as a full step-by-step profile copy and all the tools you need to execute it for free. All we ask is that you please like the video, share it with a friend, and then comment below that you did. Then I'll send you a private link to that training. If you want more real estate marketing help, we do 2 videos a week on this channel, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any. Appreciate it. We'll see you soon.